Hello, everybody. Mike Jerrick here. Welcome to a look inside the Jerrick Report. I know what you're saying. What is the Jerrick Report? Well, you'll find it on our website, first of all, fox29.com. I call it a clearinghouse of stories showcasing the talent of my coworkers here at Fox. A lot of them you'll never see on TV. So again, you can find it on our website. Just scroll down to the tab that says the Jerrick Report, or more simply, grab your cell phone now, open your camera up and point it at the QR code at the bottom of your TV screen, and boom, you're in. Okay, here's an example of what you'll see there, a series we call Hidden in Plain Sight. It features abandoned buildings around our area and the history they are hiding. Our Fox 29 drone pilots Bill Anderson and Bill Rohr take you to history's heights.
I think we should go to abandoned sites, abandoned buildings, places that nobody gets to see, and we give them a perspective that no one else can.
You think they'll let us do it?
Why not?
First up was Spring City, Pennsylvania, to check out a place that you may know as the haunted Halloween event, the Pennhurst Asylum. But in reality, it's the site of the Pennhurst State School and Hospital, a school for children with special needs that's been closed for years and therefore remains hidden in plain sight.
So we tell the story, and we tell a very accurate story. There's another hall.
As our tour began in the Mayflower building, the history lesson started.
Pennhurst was the wrong answer to a question that was asked over 100 years ago. At a time when young people with disabilities were thrown away into jails or workhouses, the state decided that they needed a facility where they could separate these special needs children and allow them to be successful and protect society. That was actually how they worded it.
Visually and historically, the tour was just eye-opening.
The importance of Pennhurst really circles around the idea that people who are differently abled deserve the exact same opportunities and rights as anyone else in society.
And the Mayflower building, that was just the beginning. We toured the old medical facilities, rode by and learned about some of the, honestly by today's standard, shocking treatment that some of the children received.
One of the practices that gets some of the most outcry was the idea that they would remove the teeth from residents. Now that's a fact. It happened here. And in today's standards, completely, in every way unacceptable. It's wrong. But when we dial it back and we look through it history's eye, we realize that there were no therapies to prevent the residents or teach the residents to not chew on their metal bed rail, to not chew on their hand to the point where they're breaking skin or breaking their teeth off. So the decision to remove teeth was rooted in the idea that they had no other options.
But maybe more important, it highlighted why digging past rumor to fact is so important.
The villain here was a systemic idea that separation of people is okay. That's the villain. That removing people from society could ever be an answer. That's the villain.
But Jim, one of the staff members and our guide for the day, explained to us why getting the truth out about Pennhurst is so important to him personally.
My kids would have been in this place. My daughters would have been sent here, and society would have told me that that's what I was supposed to do.
There's a long history associated with the Pennhurst State School and Hospital.
Oh, see?
Unfortunately, some of it just isn't based in fact.
Pennhurst is truly, in the circles that follow the paranormal, Pennhurst is regarded as one of the most haunted places on Earth.
Now, the haunted reputation is real.
Some of our investigators will come in, they'll do great, really scientific investigations, cameras and measuring devices, and they'll show me evidence that I can't explain.
If anybody was ever worried about me wanting to do one of these investigations, not a chance.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. When we first arrived, the reputation for the site being haunted, that completely bugged me out.
You weren't scared at all?
Not one bit.
No?
No, I wasn't one bit.
Bill Rohr, on the other hand, was unbothered. It's impossible in limited time to show you everything that we experienced, but we can certainly try to give you at least a taste.
This is why we work so well together. Completely different perspectives. Huh?
I see beauty, Bill.
Terrified.
But for those interested in learning, the people at Pennhurst hope that you'll do what we did. Take an historic tour one day, along with the ghost hunting sleepovers and Halloween haunted house fun, and find out why the truth of Pennhurst, like so many other sites in our area, it remains hidden in plain sight.
So what do you want our bills to fly over next? Send your ideas to me on Twitter at MikeFox29. I'll be right back with something sweet. Welcome back. Another series you'll find on the Jerrick Report is Sweet Memories, treats that will remind you fondly of your childhood. Fox 29 reporter Alex George is not only our reporter, she's also our baker.
Alex, I haven't had s'mores since I went to camp. Can you make me s'mores?
Yes, we can make s'mores. So a traditional s'more, you got graham cracker, marshmallow, chocolate, pretty straightforward. But you usually need a campfire. So today, we're gonna take it up a notch. We're giving you portable s'mores. The best way to eat a s'more, my favorite way, a s'mores bar.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
We are gonna take this brown sugar situation and this butter. We're gonna melt it all down on the stove, and eventually, we're gonna turn it into a dough. Now it's gonna cool down. We're gonna add in egg and vanilla. Okay, we added the egg. It's gonna be kinda runny, but it's gonna make a really delicious blondie-esque sort of dough that's still like gooey when it's cooked. So, yeah, that's the vibe. We are moving this dough into the pan of which we made a baby sling for. And we're gonna spread it into a pretty thin layer. Shrimp break. It's a break for you to eat shrimp. Okay, swing. We're just gonna test these, make sure they come out with a little nothingness, and they did. We've got our bottom sort of graham crackery cookie layer, and to make it s'mores, all we're gonna do for the chocolate layer is add chocolate chips to this. And because it's hot, it's fresh out of the oven, the chocolate chips are just gonna melt right on top. We are making marshmallow from scratch. First thing you've gotta do is get cream of tartar, and we're gonna add egg whites. Now we're adding this into the cream of tartar. We're gonna whisk this up. Sugar. Now we're gonna add corn syrup. Corn syrup. Now we have what will eventually become our marshmallow, so we're gonna take it over to the stove and we're gonna cook it down. That was not a Deer Park water bottle. This is most certainly not sponsored by Deer Park, but what delicious water. I'm just kidding. Okay, we're gonna take this to the stove. I accidentally left my water bottle in the shot. But I want you to think I'm pristine, neat, and clean. And also that I'm 5'6". There we go. And off. All right. Marshmallow fluff in the jar is already delicious, so there is no way to go wrong by making it yourself. These are the best s'mores of all time. Homemade marshmallow on top of a graham cracker blondie with milk chocolate in the middle, my favorite kitchen tool. This is fulfilling parts of me I didn't even know needed to be fulfilled. $3.60. There she is. There she is, the s'mores bar. Dave, please enjoy.
If you want Alex to bake memories for you, contact her on Twitter at AlexGeorgeTV. And when we come back, fly, eagles, fly. Welcome back, everybody. Every now and then on the Jerrick Report, we will take a walk on the wildlife side. The once endangered bald eagle is making a big comeback in our area. Yes, Philadelphia Eagles. Here is photojournalist Pete Santo with his version of Fly, Eagles, Fly.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thing of beauty. The American bald eagle, a native of North America, has been a symbol for our national emblem since 1782. Their distinctive white head and tail, brown feathers, and large wingspan make them iconic. With an average lifespan of 20 years, bald eagles can reach speeds up to 99 miles per hour. But why do eagles like the urban environment of Philadelphia? I traveled to the John Hines National Wildlife Refuge near the Philadelphia International Airport. That's where Garrett White, a biological science technician and expert on bald eagles, provided his insight on these amazing creatures and why two of them have been calling the refuge home for more than a decade.
They can see 4 times farther than people can, and it's been presumed that they could see a hare moving in the grass a mile away. This pair of eagles has been nesting here for about a decade, and they return to this same area. Some years they're successful, some years they're not, but they always come back to this nest here. The nest itself is actually really large. You can kind of see that opening where there's like a little dark dot right against the trunk. How's that for a shot? They first started coming here in 2010. Eagles are looking for enough area territory that has enough food to raise their young. Generally corresponds to about 1,500 acres or so, and John Hines is about 1,000 acres. So there's ample space here for an eagle to be able to raise a successful nest. With the Darby Creek here, Delaware River not far away, and this impoundment behind me, there's plenty of opportunities for them to catch fish and plenty of territory without a lot of competition.
These raptors, which soared high in the sky in our region in the early 1900s, were nearly wiped out, landing them on the endangered species list in 1978. One looks like it's about to take off. Thanks to conservationists and the federal government, the bald eagle has been making a comeback. They were taken off the endangered species list in 2007 and can now be seen in a host of other places in the Delaware Valley. One of those places is a section of Pennypack Park near Kern-Fromholz Correctional Facility, where the creek meets the Delaware River. This is where Patty and Pete, which they have been named by locals, have also made a nest.
Eagles are very adaptable. As long as there's a waterway where they can get fish, which is the primary source of their diet, then they can make their nest and be safe. They're just looking for high areas without a lot of predators to attack their eaglets.
Now that you know that bald eagles can be found in the Philadelphia region, there are a few things you want to take note of, especially if you come bird watching to a place like John Hines Refuge. You want to pack your patience and a pair of binoculars.
I have a scope set up over here, but in general, a small pair of binoculars is going to work great.
It's just so peaceful, so beautiful. How could it be any better? This is one of my happy places. It's a sight to see. Come down and see it.
Barb Kearney and Ed Reardon have been coming to the John Hines Refuge for years, and Ed even saw one of the eagles pluck a fish right from the water.
I always say it's timing. You can walk these trails. You might see something today, you might not see it tomorrow, but you come through, you might see something good.
Go Eagles. When we come right back, keeping our children out of prison, a new concept that just might work. Welcome back once again. Another story you'll find on the Jerrick Report is about a fairly new campaign, but I think a very important one. It's called Care, Not Control. Simply put, it's to help keep our young people out of prison. Photojournalist Mike Greenwich tells you all about it.
Really being intentional about what we're making as artists, especially in a time like today. I think it's really important, if you are going to be putting things out in the public space, to have it have messaging that's impactful to other people.
The Village of Arts and Humanities is a neighborhood organization in the Fairhill Harf Trent neighborhood. We are an organization that works at the intersection of art and social justice. We sit in the 19133 zip code. It's one of the highest incarceration rates in the city. It's very difficult to meet or engage with anyone in this neighborhood who has not been touched by incarceration in some way.
I was locked up at the age of 14. I was locked up and charged as an adult.
I was 17. I was incarcerated for 4 years.
The Care Not Control campaign is a coalition of organizations and young people who are working towards ending youth incarceration in Pennsylvania. There's a significant amount of people who are across the state investing in restorative justice, diversion projects, and really looking at new investments and looking at life-affirming institutions and life-affirming alternatives for young people who are engaged in the system.
What do you think would have been a better approach for the system to deal with you and others that may find themselves in the same situation?
Give me something in the community. I didn't have to go to jail. The United States of America locks up the most people in the world. So if we lock up the most people in the world, we'd be the safest community. We just had the safest communities. I don't even feel safe walking out my front door. So obviously prisons isn't working. So what would have helped me at the age of 14 and 17 is investment in my community organizations, and where I could go play basketball, or if I was an artist, I could invest in my artwork instead of just sending me to jail, sending me 6 hours away from my family with no sense of communication. It traumatized me, and I was only a kid.
What was it about the system that made you say, like, this is something broken here?
I would say the stories and knowing people innocence, just like seeing like people locked up for like the littlest things, or like the fact that they were so young and they was telling me their sentences and like how they would never come home and things like that. I feel like they really touched me, and I feel like it's a part of why I do this.
Thinking about a world that is not this world, to be honest, of how we're handling and how we're working with the youth in our community, and who are the people that are being targeted in this situation, and like how like there's systemic racism that's involved in all of this. So I think just like really being intentional about what we're making, specifically with the messaging about ending youth incarceration and finding alternatives for the youth that are involved in this. So I had images sent of 5 different youth, and also a parent who works with them as well, whose like child is incarcerated, and the words accompanied on the poster are words from them.
We have to be willing to reimagine, we have to be willing to pilot, we have to be willing to try and fail new things so that we can actually meet this vision where folks can be and show up as their full and authentic selves and create this vision for a world without incarceration.
If you stop using incarceration as a scare tactic and just locking up everybody, these kids will have mentors and dads and uncles and aunts and moms and grandmoms and anybody higher up that can teach them to not fall victim to the same stuff that we've been falling victim to for forever.
Best of luck to them. Keep it going. It's such important work. We have a little more show. Don't go away. Well, that's a sneak peek at what the Jerrick Report is all about. Thank you for being with us. Please join us by going to our website, scroll down to the Jerrick Report tab, and then click, boom, you're in. Or use your cell phone. Do it right now if you can. Point your cell phone camera at the QR code at the bottom of your screen, and you're in. Thanks for joining us. See you on TV and, of course, now online and on Good Day Philadelphia. I'll see you then.